welcome to BISON Talks Wrestling, brought to you by the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your favourite shows. I'm your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the one and only British wrestling sensation, Alex Windsor.
Hello, I like it. British wrestling sensation. It's got a ring to it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
We're looking at.
So, how are we doing today? How are we doing?
All right, thank you. I've had a cup of tea, so I'm good to go.
Oh, I like it. I like.
I've got to have a cup of tea first thing.
Are you from Norwich?
Norwich? Yeah.
So what's with the Brummie accent? You've been in that. You've been in the Midlands too long.
Yeah, that's what it is. I lived in Birmingham too long, and it's just stuck now. So I'm kind of stuck between Birmingham and Norfolk accent.
It's in between. It's sort of kind of Norfolk, and then you get a bit of Brum.
Yeah. It's a very odd conversation.
No, it's interesting. It makes you more interested to listen to. That's for sure. Anyway, first of all, I just want to thank you for your time because I know that you do have a very, very busy schedule, and so it's great to have you with me today. So I really, really do appreciate it.
No worries.
Now we touched on this briefly when you appeared on Impacted recently.
Yeah.
But for those of you who may have missed that, because not everybody watches Impacted, although you should, obviously. When did you start wrestling, and how did it all come about?
So I didn't really get into wrestling the way that everybody else did. Like most people are, oh, you know, like this is my favorite wrestler growing up, or I used to watch wrestling like when I was a kid. And for me, I just happened to have a friend at school who was training to be a wrestler. Her dad was a wrestler, and because I was her friend, she was just like, do you want to start training with me? And obviously, like, I didn't know anything about wrestling. Like when I started, I think I knew who Hulk Hogan was, and that was it. That was my knowledge of wrestling. So I started training with her. Like we did like a training weekend once a month, and I really enjoyed it. Like I was just like, okay, this is really cool because it's a mix of like drama and sports, which is what I love doing at school anyway. So I was like, this is a like perfect combination of it. And this was in 2009.
Okay.
And I've kind of not really looked back since.
Okay, so 2000, so you were what, 15 because you were at
15,
school? 15,
yeah, 15 when I started.
Okay, so just as a matter of interest, because I'm not au fait with it too much. I mean, I did a little bit of wrestling training when I was younger, but what is the age limit on it then? When are you sort of officially allowed to start? Is that about right? Or because I know in the States you're not allowed to start until you're is it 18, I think?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a legal limit on when you can first start, but I think for me when I was 15, it's probably around 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, I would imagine the first time you could compete would be at least 16.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Definitely. Right, okay. So and obviously you're from Norwich.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you said it was a friend that you had at school that was dad was a wrestler and they were trainers.
Yeah.
Would we know them? Would we know her dad?
Her dad is a wrestler called Carl Kramer. Obviously he's a British wrestler. I don't think he wrestles anymore. But he's one of the wrestled a lot back in the day. One of them back kind of wrestlers.
Yeah. When we were rough and ready. So did he fight Big Daddy? That's the question. Oh,
he might have done. I don't know.
Big Daddy, bit of Chinese stacks.
Probably, yeah. So he was like kind of that era. Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So now, when you first got in there, when you first got in the ring, and I would imagine one of the first things you were being taught to do was probably bump. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the first thing I was taught, and that's when you started to realise actually this is not quite as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
What was that like when you took that first bump? What went through your mind when you were like laying on your back and you were like, oh,
yeah, I remember. I feel like I wanted to cry just because it's such an unnatural thing just to throw yourself back. Because I think I learned how to do a back bump first. Just to throw yourself back, having like no fear, like you don't know what the ring feels like, just to be told, right, throw yourself backwards, take a bump. I just remember doing it, and I think I might have like winded myself a little bit, but I just remember laying there thinking like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I think it was a shock of it as well, more than anything else. But then once you've done it once, and they're like, okay, like, well done, like, on to the next thing. It's kind of like, okay, I've done it now. I can do it again. I can try something else now as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. I remember doing that first bump. I remember sort of kind of, because I'm a big guy as well. So like,
Yeah.
I remember going back on someone back and just thinking, Jesus Christ, how many times this match am I going to have to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because it does, you know, and you got to remember to sort of kind of you got to remember.
Yeah, there's so many things you have to remember, I guess, which you probably, I find that like with a lot of wrestlers as well, you probably it's just second nature. But when I guess you're first learning it, you're like, right, tuck your chin, keep your arms out, throw your legs back. Like, there's so many things you have to think about. Whereas now it's just you do it without thinking.
It's almost like as your arms go back, they take pretty much most of the bump, though, don't they?
Yeah.
So arms sort of kind of But it's interesting because you know, it is hard. I often think to myself, you know, like it does take a certain kind of person to sort of kind of like take the bump and then go, do you know what? Actually, I do want to keep doing this, because when you do that first bump, that's when you realise
it's crazy, really, isn't it? Yeah. You do these things, like, I remember the day after my first training session, I think we trained from like Saturday and Sunday, 10 till 5, both days. And I think on the Sunday, I woke up at my friend's house and she was like, are you okay? And I was just like, I feel like I've been hit by a bus. But then you just go and do it again. Like, it's mad.
And I guess once you're warmed up, though, once you get in there and once you're all warmed up and you loosen all back up again, it's all ready to go.
Yeah. I always remember, like, on the Sunday, when we have to do like the drills and stuff, you get in, do all your bumps, run the ropes, hit the corners. That first bump on a Sunday, it killed.
So just as a matter of interest, obviously, you know, that's your initial training. You've gone through your initial training. You're now a professional wrestler. You know, how often do you still continue running drills and practice moves in the ring? I mean, is that a weekly thing or a couple of days a week?
At the minute, obviously, like leading up to my comeback, I was training at least once or twice a month from May, I think. And I think at the minute it's really just finding the time to get in and train, because I'd love to train like once or twice a month. But it's definitely something that now I'm back, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm back now, I don't need to train. Like, definitely, like, I'd like to train, you know, as often as I can, really.
Yeah. So when you mentioned also you're in the Midlands, I won't say exactly where, but you're in the Midlands. So which school do you go to so you can get in the ring?
So the Hunter brothers, they have like a unit where they have a ring. I think they run like training sessions in there, but I normally, because Jetta and Charlie Morgan, they only live about half an hour, 45 minutes from me. So we'll all go together and just say like, right, let's do like a training session. We've got the ring from this time. We go there and just train together.
Okay, that sounds perfect. And I guess the most regular place would be the gym.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I did mention before, I need to get my ass back in the gym. I really do. But there we go. Anyway, let's move on now. So I mean, just to conclude talking about sort of kind of like early training stuff like that. So, you know, while training, who was your biggest inspiration?
It's difficult really to think back then, because I knew so little about wrestling. I didn't really have like superstars to look up to, because I didn't really know anyone. So I guess when I was training, I trained with the Knights, so I had Saraya, Paige, that at the time they were the female role models for me. So I guess at that time I didn't really have anyone else to look up to apart from them. So they were the people that I wanted to be like. I wanted to train like. I wanted to know their craft to take with me like I got on. So I guess at the time I didn't really have anyone that I went into wrestling aspiring to be like. I kind of learned on my own.
Yeah. And of course you watched those guys and thought, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. And I'll tell you what though, if you know, like you say, if Paige or Saraya is your inspiration in the ring, then you know that the style that you're going to end up with, because they're pretty hard hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Now, what advice would you give, say, a young boy or girl who aspires to be a pro wrestler, today?
I definitely think expect to work hard for it and be patient with it. Like, these things don't happen overnight. Like, I've been in the business, you know I had like a 4-year gap, but since 2009, and there's still so much you need to learn. Like you never stop learning in wrestling. So don't expect to learn everything overnight. Be patient with it. And I think as well, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like we all wrestle because we love wrestling. We enjoy it. So I think it's just really important to enjoy yourself. Don't put pressure on being perfect or being like this person. Just know your craft. It comes naturally as you get on. So just enjoy it. Like don't put pressure on yourself either.
Okay, I think that's really, really good advice. Nice one. Okay, now I know you've had some amazing matches over the years with some amazing talents like Su Yung, Rosemary, Jessica Havoc, Viper, Dewdrop now on WWE, Soraya Knight, Cherry Bomb. You even mentioned it, Paige before. Before she obviously went to WWE. And there's even more on that. I think Awesome Kong was another one. Who incidentally is going into the Impact Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also recently, obviously the Shimmer champ Hyan. But which match really stands out as the one you really felt was great to you personally, and why?
Oh, I have to say it was against Su Yung, Lucha Forever in Manchester. And, maybe to some people you'd think why, because it was at like a reasonably small venue, but just the atmosphere of the whole show and the whole match, like the atmosphere was just amazing. The match was really good. And I think because of Sue's style, I think she brought out, I felt like I wrestled differently that night. And I just felt like the whole match in itself was just, from start to finish, it was just, I wasn't thinking at the time. It was just happening. And then I got back after the match and was just like, that was really fucking cool. Like, sorry. Oh, I swore, sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
but
all
no,
good.
it was just such a cool match. And I definitely think she brought out like another side of me, which obviously, I'm grateful for that as well. But yeah, I have to say, hands down, it was against Su Yung. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, Su Yung is one of my favourite Impact knockouts, so I'm glad to hear that because she is pretty awesome. Okay, so that's good. So recently I saw you perform at Wrestle Carnival show, Carnival of Honor. This was actually the very first time I'd seen you perform live. So I'd seen some stuff on YouTube and different bits involved, but this was the very first time I saw you perform live. Which promotion can people check you out at if they want to see you live, as well as obviously Wrestle Carnival? Because I think you're a regular fixture with them, aren't you?
Yeah, so obviously, like Wrestle Carnival, Pro Wrestling Eve. I believe I'm there for the rest of the year now. Obviously, my next match there is the 2nd of October. At the minute, it's really Wrestle Carnival and Eve, but I'm hoping once I'm getting my feet back again and getting back into the swing of it, you'll see me everywhere.
Well, that sounds good to me.
That's what I hope to be doing, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really good. I mean, obviously, with you being up sort of kind of like based in the Midlands, then there is a chance. I mean, what we got there, we've got PCW, haven't we, which would be pretty good. Is it, what else we got? They got Pro Wrestling, I've forgotten what it's called now. Where's Progress based? Progress
is, I think they're based in London.
Okay, well,
which again isn't too far. Rev Pro is in London as well. Like
Rev
I think that's
Pro.
the thing about the Midlands is that you're not too far from anywhere.
No, it's easy to travel, isn't it? You can go up north, come down south, so it's not a problem. So everywhere is weird because if you live in the Midlands, everywhere's sort of about an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So it'd be good to see you on there. Now, what I will say is, if you're not aware of Eve, guys, you want to check Eve out. It's a female wrestling promotion. Some real big talents have performed there. Killer Kelly, who I'm a massive fan of. Killer Kelly, she's awesome. I know she's performed there. Sorry, you love her as well.
Yeah, I'd love to wrestle her.
She's awesome. Joe, she reminds me of a female version of Kurt Angle. Like if you,
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Like just the way she presents herself, the way she comes out when she goes up onto the turnbuckle, the way she she holds and carries herself, as well as obviously the way she performs in the ring. Just everything about her screams Kurt Angle to me.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that Impact sign it because it looks like they've had her on a couple of times. I've heard a rumor that she may be at Knockouts Knockdown as well. So fingers crossed on that.
Let's peel for that.
Yeah, no, but they've had some real big names. I know Hyan's been up there. Funny enough, I forgot her first, Giselle Shaw. I know
Yeah,
she's been there recently as well. So there's been quite a few really good female talents that have been there. Obviously, your opponent coming up as well. We'll talk about that in a second.
yeah,
So yeah, so there's a lot of good progress, and they don't hold back as well. A lot of the shows are sort of kind of 18 plus as well, aren't they? So
yeah,
if you if you're 18 plus and you like really good women wrestling, then that is the place to go. Go and check them out.
absolutely.
Definitely. So let's move away from wrestling for a minute,
Hmm.
because I'm sure we all want to know a little more about Alex, the person, and what she likes to do in her spare time when enjoying some downtime, from training or performing or whatever it is that you do. Let's tell us a bit about
Yeah.
Alex. Come on.
Well, to be honest, I love my downtime. I think being a parent, I love doing nothing. I love having days where I can just sit on the sofa and relax with a cup of tea. Like cup of tea, some Cadbury's chocolate, I'm happy. But other than that, like I love to spend time with my family. Like they moved up here a few years after I did. My parents did, so I love spending time with them. They live in Wales in the countryside, so I love going to see
Lovely.
them and just like kind of escaping from everything, like going to see them. And obviously going to the gym. I like to go to the gym a lot as well. But that's a given, isn't it? Everyone
Of
has
course
to
it
go
is.
to the gym these days.
Everyone should go to the gym. It's just sometimes you struggle to find the motivation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, here's a question for you then, right? Okay,
Go
so
on.
you know that you've got to get up, you've got to go to the gym,
Yeah.
you've got a match coming up on Saturday, for instance, right? And you're like, I've got to get in the gym, I've got to get myself ready, got to get pumped, got to look my best. But
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what? I just want a cup of tea and sit on the sofa and eat Cadbury's chocolate. What do you do to make yourself go? Because we know that sometimes that's what you have to do. You just have to say, I just get in the car and I've got to get there and I've just got to do my thing. Because normally, once you get in there, you just get on and do it, don't you? But it's just getting there sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, if I can get my gym stuff on, I have to go because I'm changed now. I'm not like in my PJs or in my comfies. If I can get my gym stuff on, even if I have a cup of tea before I go, I'm ready to go then. Because then at least I'm in that mindset of like, right, I've got my training stuff on, just take my, then it's just a case of get your shoes on, take your pre-workout, off you go. So sometimes it's just a case of choosing just to get the stuff on and then procrastinate for a little while, chocolate instead, but then go. Have some chocolate after.
Have you got anything at home though? Have you got anything? Do you use wires or anything like that, or?
During like lockdown, I did do a lot of home workouts. I had like the resistant bands and stuff, but the main thing I used, I got my gym bag, which is just like a little Nike bag, and I filled it with like tins of soup, tins of tomatoes, and used it as a weight.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was like my go-to workout during that lockdown.
Hey, why not? Yeah, why not? That's a great idea. I mean, you could do all sorts with a bag.
Exactly, it did the trick.
Fantastic. Really sounds good to me. Okay, so I know you have some pretty important matches coming up. October the 2nd in London, you face Emerson Jane in an international title contenders match for Eve. We then have October 9th in Nottingham, you face former Impact Knockouts champion and former actually tag champion as well now, Jordan Grace at Wrestle Carnival Show Pure. What are your thoughts on both these huge matches? Because they're both pretty big. And what should your opponents be expecting once that bell goes ding ding?
I think it's probably very easy for both of them to underestimate me because I've been gone for so long and they probably think, oh, she might have missed a step or she hasn't got it anymore. I haven't missed a beat. If anything, I'm better than I was before. So don't underestimate me and expect to bring your best because I'm bringing everything to these matches. I've been on a good roll since I started. I beat Zoe Lucas in my first match back. Even though I didn't beat Hyan, I proved at the end of the match she was a better woman. So don't underestimate me whatsoever.
Okay, well, there you go. Some strong words from Alex.
No, it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning either.
I know, crazy. Some strong words. Now, interestingly enough, I was talking about Emerson Jane. I was saying that she's quite an up and coming talent as well, isn't she? So,
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So that's going to be a hell of a match. And from I say, from the match that I saw a couple of weeks ago, you are definitely a handful for any female wrestler in the world today, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it, definitely, because I know that she's a great talent, so it's going to be good.
All up and coming young talent. There's loads of them. Absolutely, there's so many fantastic young female talents, especially.
Yeah, it was weird being back in like the locker room at Eve, because obviously the last time I wrestled, there was so many people who aren't on the scene anymore, and I was just like, I hardly know anyone. But on the other foot, I was like, there's so many new people to wrestle now. Which
is exciting, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
You just, there's so much more fun to have, lots of more tangos to be had.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's great. That's fantastic. And of course, like I said, we've got former knockouts champion Jordan Grace. Now, that's going to be a handful, because we all know that Jordan is a mini powerhouse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're right. It's all right lifting up, heavy weights and all the rest of it, but you've got to be able to, like you say, weights don't hit you back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see this match pan out, because if there's one thing for sure, she has that kind of strong style, and so do you. So I think that no matter what happens in this match, we're going to see some pretty heavy hitting.
It's going to be a good clash, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I really, really wish I could go. I'm looking into it. I can't get to the Eve one, but I am looking into it. The only issue is it's an evening show for me, and living down south to then travel like 3.5 hours back. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. And again, exactly the same with my daughter. If I don't take her, like, she'll never
hell to pay.
You know what I mean? It'd just be hell to pay. But we're going to look at it and see if we can do it. But guys, that is going to be an amazing match. If you can get to Wrestle Carnival on October 9th, definitely make sure you get down to that one. Now, here's another one for you. If I say, if I say Gail Kim or Mickey James were watching this interview right now, why do you think they should be checking out Alex Windsor, and what would you bring to the table for a major US promotion like NWA, Impact, AEW, even WWE? What do you think you would bring to the table that possibly is a little bit different to what they've already got?
Well, I've already proven time and time again that I can hang with the best of them. I can wrestle these big names. I can handle the pressure. I can step up to the plate and give them like a bloody good fight. Like, I think that's kind of lost these days with some wrestlers. Everyone wants to be the flashiest. Everyone wants to do however many flips they can do. And I think sometimes it's good to just have a good slobber knocker of a match. And I don't think that many people do that these days. And that's something I've always stayed true to. So I think that's, in this kind of how the scene is now, I think that's definitely a good way to stand out, personally.
I agree. Yeah, so it's a bit like I find that with Joe Hendry as well. It's sort of kind of like, I know he's come back out with this sort of kind of Negan style gimmick or whatever, but Joe Hendry's a bit like that, isn't he? I mean, you watch the guy in the ring; it doesn't matter. Don't screw the gimmick. The guy is a great wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you just kind of you get lost in the sauce, as the phrase goes. Can I just say that is one of my favourite JR-isms, the slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
I absolutely love that. I used to pop for that every time it come out. Absolute slobber knocker of a match.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it, though.
It certainly is, definitely. Well, unfortunately, I think that's all we've got time for today. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Alex. And
Thank you.
I, for one, am looking forward to seeing you and Jordan Grace go at it on October 9th at Wrestle Carnival Pure. Make sure you check that one out, guys. Now, if we want to follow or keep up to date with you or buy merch or support you in any way, Alex, how can we do that?
So both my Twitter and Instagram is at Hyan Windsor. I post most of my things on there with like pictures that I sell, merch that I sell as well. So you can find me on there, give me a message, or my email is alicewalker93@hotmail.com. Email me on there for any inquiries that you like. Exactly.
With regards, I mean, who knows? You might be able to get Alex on your podcast. Or what about, getting in contact with her for your show, guys? Yeah, get in contact with Alex, book her up I can tell you now, you will not regret booking Alex for a match. I can assure you of that. Now, if you want to follow the Bison, you can find me on Twitter at LordBison45. Remember, this pretty much the place that I sort of kind of dedicate to my wrestling is Twitter. I don't go in too much on the Facebook thing. That's more family, friends, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you want to talk to me about wrestling, at LordBison45, that's where you'll find me. Please make sure that you give this video a good thumbs up. If you're new to the TNI network and you like what you see, then make sure you hit that subscribe and smash the bell to never miss any of the great content coming out each and every single week. If you don't like smashing the bell, you can also give it a tickle or even a squeeze. But whatever you do, make sure that you hit that bell, because that's how you find out about every single thing that we do each and every week. All that said, I've been Bison, and this was the sensational Alex Windsor. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.